The only thing missing from a bye week is a football game. Everything else is business as usual. South Dakota using that time last week to focus on itself. And to talk a little bit more about that and what's coming up, here is head coach Bob Nielson. Bob, but what are some of the specific areas that you guys focused in on during that time off?
Well, we used it as a get-right time, opportunity to take a look at those first 4 weeks and say, hey, here's some things that we got to do better in all three phases, offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game, and hone in on those, some of which maybe was a fundamental thing, some of which was an execution thing. Also gave us a chance to keep working ahead, keep building on some of the things that we thought were really good coming away from the Northern Colorado game. Certainly have to be more consistent offensively. Defensively played our best game of the year and a chance to build on that. And all of those things are things that over the course of the bye week we got a chance to focus on, and then also get a jump start on our preparation for Indiana State.
Did you get the kind of progress you were hoping for out of that?
Yeah, we had three really good practice days during the week. Got a lot of work done. It was a very valuable time, and I think that bye week came at a good time for us. I like having byes early in the year because it does present a little opportunity to really focus on some things that you can correct and develop for the meat of the season.
Well, and the other thing it, of course, affords you is the opportunity for some of those guys that have been dinged up to get a little bit healthier. And, of course, Cody Case, Mark Collins, Bakari Goodson, Cam Tisdale, all guys that missed time for you over those first 4 weeks. Where are things at with them? Are they ready to go?
Yeah, they've all been practicing this week. The majority of them, the three defensive backsmen practicing fully. We would anticipate that there's a really high likelihood that they'll all be back and playing in some capacity on Saturday.
Well, that's outstanding news, of course. And as you would turn your attention now to your Missouri Valley Football Conference opener and Indiana State. Speaking of injuries, the Sycamores suffered a pretty big one of their own. Quarterback Ryan Boyle lost for the season with a torn ACL. And with that, redshirt sophomore Curtis Wilderman looks set to make his first career start here at the Dakota Dome on Saturday. And so what do you know about him, and how does their offense change with him kind of running the show?
Not a lot. Boyle, obviously a very talented player, came onto the scene in the league a year ago and had a outstanding first year in the league. When he got hurt early in the game against Eastern Illinois, so Wilderman played basically the entire game except for the first series, and led him to a win. He's a very good athlete. So I don't see their offense changing a lot. They run the quarterback a bit in their offense, but also have that balanced with the passing game, and he fit right in, and now will have had 2 weeks as the starter under his belt in terms of preparation.
Is it tougher as a coach going up against someone that you don't have a lot of film on like that, or can you draw what you need to out of that one longer set of experience for him against Eastern Illinois?
Yeah, I think you have a chance to. Certainly, every quarterback has some strengths and weaknesses and things that they do differently. But at the same time, they're not going to wholesale change their offense. They're going to try to emphasize the things that he does well. And so, from a defensive standpoint, you have to be prepared for maybe some subtle changes offensively. But overall, they're still going to be the team that they are.
On the other side, their defense appears to be improved from what it was a year ago. The Sycamores have held opponents to about 300 yards per contest thus far. So what have you seen on film from that group that looks better than maybe it did when you looked at them a year ago?
Well, they're just more experienced. They've got experienced players back at every level, senior tandem of linebackers that are very, very talented, guys that have been multiple-year starters. A lot of experience back in the secondary. Up front, they're a very physical front group. I think they've got three of the 4 returning starters back in that group. And so they've got a very experienced defensive football team and a team that is not afraid to pressure you, not afraid to play some man underneath coverage, teams that are going to make it very difficult for you to move the ball consistently.
Well, not only is this your league opener, it also happens to be the 103rd Dakota Days football game. That always brings a little extra juice to the atmosphere inside that building. But what's it going to take then to make sure that celebration remains a happy one throughout the weekend?
Well, I think we've got to play really good football. We've got to put a complete game together. We've had some games where we played well offensively. We've had a game now where we played really well defensively. We got to play well in all three phases. I think kicking game and the way that it can change field position will be a big part of this game. We've got to take care of the football. We've got to generate some turnovers. They've been a very opportunistic team regarding turnovers through the first 4 weeks. And then we've just got to be a consistent football team. We've got to be a consistent football team on both sides of the ball.
Well, the party's, of course, already started down in Vermilion, but it's going to get a whole lot more fun on Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock, the kickoff between Indiana State and South Dakota. That game can be seen live on Midco Sports Network. Myself, Andre Fields, Kelly Stewart will be calling all the action for you. Bob, thanks for your time. Good luck this weekend, and we'll catch up again, hopefully talking about a win next week.
Thanks, Jim.